Oh, my power's going to go out now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you thought 2023 was crazy with social media and the digital world, well, Kanji and I are about to drop a bombshell on you to what is happening in 2024. Think shopping channels, virtual reality, and a whole host of other things. Welcome. My name is Melissa Mitchell, and I'll introduce myself in a moment and my co-host here, Kanji. Low, but I just want to quickly mention my power is cutting in and out here, Kanji. I don't know if you just saw that. I'm in regional Victoria, and I'm a little bit worried that my power is about to go out, Kanji. If it does, we're going to have to redo this. So we just had a few tech issues coming up. So before we get stuck into what is in store for you for 2024, if you don't know me, my name is Melissa Mitchell. I am an organic marketing specialist. I own a marketing agency here in regional Victoria, I should say. But I am from Melbourne originally, and I specialize in organic marketing. I help business owners get seen organically. And I also have monetized my own personal brand. So that means monetizing myself on Facebook, TikTok, etc. And today we're going to be talking about what is in store for you. I've joined forces with my wonderful friend here, Kanji Low, who is an incredible being, but also so amazing in this space. He goes all over the world talking about his craft. Kanji, let our audience know what you do before we get stuck into it, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa. Thanks for having me here. And thank you for those that are listening. My name is Kanji Low. I'm a co-founder and head of operations of Presence, which is a social development platform that prioritizes your presence and rewards you for your attention through tokens and rewards. And I'm also a business coach as well. So I help coaches and creatives grow their online brands as well as their businesses to help them get seen and at the same time, get that income and that impact to share to the rest of humanity. And one thing I've noticed, Melissa, is just like, being able to fly over to many countries like Dubai, Malaysia over the last year, is that there's a lot of different trends, and there are a lot of people coming in and asking, like, what is the next trend? How do I become a trendsetter? What is it that I do to set that scene? And here's the thing, right? To be able to set this trend is to able to adapt to the current trends. Because if you don't know what the current trends are, it's all like you're leaving money on the table, right?
Yeah.
One of the topics which I feel is quite, there's a lot of money that's there, but at the same time you can impact a lot of people through your messaging, your branding. And I've been able to speak and do workshops overseas on this, is AI marketing automation, right? And that's huge, right? With chatbots and things like that. But maybe I'll pass it on to you, Melissa. Like, what is it that you see through marketing automation, AI, ChatGPT?
I just wanted to add to something that you just said that was really, really super important. So I thank you for what you actually just said, because you've just jogged something in my brain. And by now, my audience, and I know certainly, Kanji, you've probably worked this out about my brain, it tends to jump around and pick up little pieces everywhere. So something that you've just reminded me, Kanji, what Kanji just said was really, really important. Although we're going to be talking about the trends and what's predicted, it is super important to take on board what Kanji said. And if I can just add to that, Kanji, what we're saying and what's predicted is wonderful, but if you can't make them your own, you're missing a big crucial part of the prize. And what works for one creator or one brand or one company may not necessarily work for you. And sometimes it's about finding that needle in a haystack or that unicorn moment. And it also cannot be predicted. Although we're giving you predictions, sometimes a trend or what's really going to work cannot be predicted. What I will say is what we're talking about here, before I get back to what Kanji was just discussing and what he asked me, was something that has been happening for a little while now and is going to be happening in the foreseeable future for at least, the next year until the next big thing happens, is TikTok sets the standard. So if you really want to know in terms of what is trending, and we're just talking about social media marketing here, we will get to augmented reality and virtual reality and those sorts of things, and how that's going to come into your e-commerce and sales and that sort of thing. But when it comes to trends, and how to incorporate that into your marketing, TikTok will set your standard, whether you like it or not. So basically what happens, so when we're talking about what's predicted, and Kanji and I will go through that list, is always think about TikTok, whatever comes out on TikTok and becomes big will waterfall down to the other platforms. So generally what I find, hey, Holly Ann Martin is joining us here from beautiful, beautiful Perth. She says, I hear TikTok shops, yes, should be in Australia by the end of the year, and we will talk about TikTok shops. I'm glad you brought that up, Holly Ann Martin, because that is one of the big things about social media platforms all going very, very in-house. That's a really good point, Holly Ann. Thank you. And I do want to bring that up today as well about platforms really going secular. Insular. So just they don't want you to leave the platform, so they're bringing commerce in and they're bringing all these different things. So TikTok will set the standard, and that's a really good example there. Hey, Lucia, how are you? And TikTok will set the standard. So if you see something trending or happening on there, you can guarantee that it will waterfall down to the other platforms. Generally, then what I see, and Kanji, you'll probably agree with this, is it then really takes off on Instagram and then Facebook. LinkedIn's, it's a different story. It's generally a B2B platform, but you can then pepper that in to, platforms like X and, LinkedIn and YouTube, but you just do it in a different way. So when you're talking about what I sort of see, Kanji, is I tend to kind of look at what, even what Holly mentioned about TikTok shops, and there's probably a lot of people watching saying, I'm not on TikTok, my audience isn't on TikTok. Yeah, your audience is on TikTok. Your audience is, whether you agree with it or not. You could be an engineering company. There is a component of your audience that is on TikTok, and I can guarantee you that, because everyone's audience is on every single platform, because it's how you market to them. And, this, if anyone has gone and checked out this company here, Bose, you know what? This is such a beautifully high-end product. You need to go, sorry, I've got these messages coming through about the storms coming. You need to go and check them out on TikTok and how they market themselves. Have you seen them, Kanji?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
Enlighten us. Yeah, enlighten us. Yeah.
Go and check them out on TikTok. Even if you are not on TikTok, guys, this is a classic example of what I'm talking about. So a high-end, beautifully classy product, which you think their audience wouldn't be on TikTok, go and watch their marketing. It is the funniest thing. I watch it for the entertainment. One, I love their product. I am sucked into their world on there. It is the funniest marketing you will ever find. And I own my business. I'm not looking for a job or anything, but I'll tell you what, there's parts of me that goes, you know what, if they offered me a job over in America, I'd go over there for a year and do it. It is the best marketing. They get into character, and they do the team go and do these little skits in their own home and everything. And it's completely different from what you expect. So yet your audience is on there. So getting back to your question, I really see, and also what Holly Ann said, Lucia couldn't read the brand properly. Bose, B-O-S-E.
B-O-S-E.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't probably really read that. B-O-S-E. So it's headphones and everything, Kanji, yeah? Do they do anything else?
That's right. No, just normally audio tech, yeah.
High-end, beautiful audio. I use them like actually, I won't open it because it'll click over to my Bluetooth. So I use them like AirPods, but they're a separate brand. They do beautiful equipment, audio equipment. So that's how I see it. And you're welcome, Lucia. I see it. How I see it is also going, and I haven't got this on our list, going back to what Holly Ann said about TikTok shops. How I see, and a lot of people are predicting, is that a lot of apps. So when we talk about apps, we're talking about Meta as an app, TikTok as an app, LinkedIn as an app, these companies going very, insular. So they want you to they want you to only shop within their, and to be within their platform. So TikTok has bought out its own shop. So they just want you to shop in there, the e-commerce. They just want you to stay within their brand. Meta, the metaverse wants you to only have, eventually they want dating apps and they want everything in there. So, and I believe they're going to be partnering up with Shopify, I've heard, so that the Facebook shop will just be a Shopify e-commerce. So when we say TikTok really waterfalls everything else, that then spurs, Facebook on to go, okay, well, we'll do the same. You don't leave the platform. So without further ado then, Kanji, because now I've had to jump on my phone instead of the camera here. Oh, my power's probably going to go out. I'm sorry, it's flickering. Did you want to read out the first topic and then we'll give our little 2 cents?
You mentioned something really beautiful before we touch on the topic. It's about branding, and like I feel as though like it's so beautiful when you hear this. It's like you are the niche, you're the audience, and you are the brand.
You are the brand.
Everything comes from him. Like
Correct.
if you're wanting to buy something, it's like, what would you want to buy? Like just ask, what would you want to buy? How would you want the message to receive? How would you want the customer experience? But yeah, that ties into everything. So what we'll mention through these trends. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. You want to say something
on that as well? Further to that, and always say to my clients or to people I'm talking to, you are also the algorithm. So an extension of that, you
100%.
are the brand. Yeah, you are the algorithm. And if you can work the sooner that you get this, the more traffic that you will attract to your page or to your website, etc. You are the algorithm, you are the brand. The more that you give the algorithm what you want to see, because you are the brand and you are the algorithm, the more it gives you back. So
100%.
Boom.
Anyways, yeah, boom. But yeah, like I feel as though this all ties into the first topic, or the trend, which is AI marketing automation. So like things like, analyzing data, personalizing customer experiences, optimizing campaigns, how to use chatbots, messaging apps. It's really, how do I say it? You've systemized a new way of interaction, right? And it's not like robotic as well, like, because sometimes you can here's the thing with ChatGPT. If you use the terminology of personas, like if as a social media manager, how would I do this? Or as a sales coach, how would I put my message out here, right? So like things like that allows you to leverage tools like chatbots, ChatGPT, voice search, etc. But yeah, that's the first trend. Yeah.
You own it. You own an AI company. Oh, big thunder there. You own an AI company. I'm glad you actually said that. I had this conversation with a girlfriend on the weekend because she's not in our industry, and she said, "What do you think of it all?" And I use it to tidy up my letters, and I use it, to write letters. And I said, "Well, go one step further. Ask the AI. Give it a persona. Give it an AI. Give it an avatar. You're not using it correctly." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, tell it what it is. You are an SEO, blah, blah, blah. You are, you are excellent at writing cover letters, and you want to offer, she was writing a letter to someone to get, a series that she wanted to produce." I said, "So who is the producer?" "Right. Tell the chatbot who the producer is in Australia, what the series is about. And if I had to get this TV series that I want to get on TV in front of this producer, this is a little bit of information. What kind of words would you use it?" She said, "I didn't even think of that. I just wanted to look." No, I said, "No, go that one step further." Can I ask you a question, Kanji?
Sure.
I've been following this great girl, Brand Nat. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's Aussie. I've got to show her. She's amazing. I'm learning a lot from her. She's AI in businesses.
Nice.
He talks about a GPT. What is the term? What is a GPT?
Yeah, so it's a generative processing tool. So what a GPT is, so like if you look at chat, right? So chat GPT, chat is the the function. So like you type into a chat box. It's a UI, it's a UX. It's basically your interaction with a processing system. The GPT is the actual processing power, the code, the backend, how it thinks, what you put into it. And a lot of the algorithms that come from a GPT, it can even be, pictures as well. So hence why like you've got like DALL-E, Midjourney, and all these other different,
Right.
content creating software. right? But the GPT is just mainly the name of the powering system that's behind the function of it.
Right. Because I thought Kanji will know, because I've heard her talking about if you want to create your own GPT. And I'm like, okay, so now I get it. I thought Chat GPT was the name of the company, but she's obviously like Chat is something, and then the GPT is right. That makes sense. And I thought it was interesting. She also said, and I've now taken this, what she said, to describe it to people, and they're like, because owning a marketing agency, I never put out 100% AI generated content. I just will not do it, because it's not going to be picked up. And I don't recommend anyone to do that, because it's not going to be picked up in Google searches. You've still got to humanize it. I've still got to really, truly understand, the client's brand, my brand, whatever it is, right? But I do use it to cut down my, time that I'm working. And like you said, I use it for the avatars and to say, okay, how, can you rate this content? How is Google going to see this? How is it going to really can you SEO, can you optimize this further? And one thing that she mentioned, and I thought, okay, this is a really smart way to think about it. So for anyone watching, think about it this way. When the calculator came out, and I remember being at school and we first started using calculators, we didn't, it wasn't like, well, you don't need to learn maths. We started having science calculators, for example. You had to learn how to use a calculator effectively to be able to understand better how to use it. Russell's saying, Melissa, are these available as video podcasts? Are you talking about what Kanji and I are doing, or the brand lady I was talking about? Let me know, Russell, in the comments there. So we as humans had to get smarter, and then the types of calculators that came out, those science, I'm really bad with maths and everything, but those different types of calculators. So we got more effective with that, and no one complained about that. If you look at Siri in the house and how we're driving in our car and we use Siri to automate things, it's no different. It's not in place. Awesome. Thank you, Kanji. I'll wait for Russell's next comment. And then what's the next one? Oh, yes. Sorry, go.
Yeah. And I was going to say as well, like with try this, and this was anyone that's watching this, like try just get one chat of ChatGPT and just spend time in that one chat. What you're really doing is you're pre-training it. So it's generative pre-training transformer. So like you're training it to learn certain things. So if you're training it to be a persona, it will stick with that persona. If you're training it to find an avatar of certain, audiences, it will find that. So the more time you spend on that one chat of ChatGPT, or even just any AI, it will be that person, right? And you're basically giving it that whole emphasis as well. They're starting to move from, how do I say it, more of a chatbot, processing tool to more of an actual like human-like capability. So when you're really looking at it, if you're tying human-like characteristics or behaviors into AI, what will come out of that? So now you're starting to think, or the AI is starting to think like a human now, right? So that's just one thing I wanted to touch on that.
I love that. So because when I go back into my Chat GPT chat, I try and go back into where I left off, say with that client, or something different. I absolutely love that. And sorry, something popped into my head. Have you heard of Uncanny Valley when it comes to AI? Uncanny Valley.
No.
It's a concept. So my daughter's really smart. I'll talk about my daughter. So she's 13. Did I tell you? She'll probably kill me. And we've just found out she's got an IQ of 138. So she's top 2% of the population of the world. Okay, so it's like Mensa. So she could actually apply for Mensa, but anyway. And she told me, so she's 13. She's like, Mum, so it's actually quite interesting. You'll find this quite interesting. So the uncanny valley is when you look at AI and you look at robotics, and the uncanny valley is where it's a feeling and it's a graph, and it's quite interesting. It's where a robot in particular, or AI, starts to tick over to just to humanize, and then the person starts to feel freaked out about it. That's a whole other episode.
It's like Terminator.
Yeah, well,
It's like Terminator.
he said, "Oh, it's so humanized." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was just learning about uncanny valley, so you got to read up about that.
Right.
Yeah, my 13-year-old daughter told me that. That's an IQ of 100.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. You know what? She'd be really good to talk to you about this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Russell's saying, are you doing any
Mhm.
podcasts, Kanji?
So with podcast, we haven't done one recently, but we will be starting to do more podcasts this year as well. So yeah, look forward to that.
Russell, I'm not at the moment. It is on my list to do, but I know I want to do it properly, so I haven't actually started yet. But yes, I will down the future, and then Kanji, will be able to do this as well. We'll be able to actually turn all our old videos into podcasts. Russell, Kanji's on Twitter as well, because I know Russell's quite big on Twitter too.
Okay. Yep.
And he's on LinkedIn as well. So we're actually streaming this to Facebook and LinkedIn. So if you jump on there, Russell, you'll be able to follow Kanji on there. So because he's doing a lot in this space as well. Lucia is saying this is where I should go create prompts into a chat and create a persona for my content. That's awesome. Lucia, do you use like a spreadsheet or Google Docs for that? Because that's a really great idea, particularly if someone's managing a lot of different accounts. That's a great idea. Awesome. Wonderful. So what's our next topic?
So this is augmented reality and virtual reality. You're talking about the consumers and everything. Yeah. So one thing about like Meta and all these other companies that are pushing towards like AR and VR is like, if you look at AR, right? So like if I get like, the vision goggles are out this year, by the way, the Apple vision goggles. If you get the goggles, you can go into certain shops, and the concept is that you can purchase what you want. So if I go to, I don't know, Ray-Ban, for example, and I'll purchase new pair of glasses, right? I go in there, I see the tag straight away, and then based on that, I can go click, cool, purchase, get the receipt, go to the front of the counter, get it all done, purchase done, right? So that's the experience with AR. So AR is just basically you're putting a digital lens on the physical world.
So if people don't know, that's augmented reality, yeah?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And Meta brought out sunglasses with Ray-Ban, correct?
Correct.
So
yes.
Facebook, Instagram, so you can put these glasses on, and as Kanji said, what you see you can do in real time and stream to your page. So we may not want to see all of that from people, but
it'll be the norm though. That's the most cool thing about it. It's like phones. Yeah, it will be like phones, and then eventually people will have glasses, right? And then contact lenses, which will be the next thing. We don't go down the rabbit hole of that.
Do you think contact lenses?
I reckon contact lenses will be the next thing. It has to be done. Yeah, but I feel as though the adoption. This is with any technology, Melissa, is that adoption is very hard to. It's like there's an adoption curve. So there's always an adoption curve with something, right? Any new technology, for example, with Zoom and connecting online, it had to take the whole world to go into your lockdown for everyone to jump onto this technology, right? Same with ChatGPT.
Yeah, forced into it. Yeah, 100%. And the funny thing is, we were using AI for so many years, and then everyone was like, "Oh, I can't believe." No, you were actually using it. You didn't know. Every time you went onto a website on IKEA, 10 years ago, and you chatted to the person, that was AI. Lucia is saying, so she used to put her avatars and her what was it, avatar into a Google Doc. Are we all going to go down the same route as the Tesla car? She's laughing. I love it. All right, what's our next topic there, Kanji?
And then VR. So virtual reality is when you have, physical, right? You're in the physical world or a digital world, and then inside the digital world, you can purchase stuff as well. So that's like Meta and Meta shops, and you can purchase clothes, Nikes, and all of that as well. So there's virtual reality. We have hyper personalization. So that's something I feel you've got a bit of a grasp on between AI, machine learning, sales, and marketing. Maybe I'll ask you this question, Melissa. How have you used AI, with your marketing agency?
Yes.
You're still there.
As I said before, more so for being able to scale. So in order to be able to grow my business, I needed to implement a lot more AI. So not somewhat. And I would honestly really say to anyone, if you are thinking of scaling by using AI to spit out a lot more content, I wouldn't do it. But if you wanted to, which is what I did, I scaled by using AI to set up a lot more processes. So blueprints to helping me with shelves to get my product to a higher level to be able to charge more. So it's not necessarily to go, to make my time quicker to spit out content, because I can guarantee you I can read people's content and know it's been spat out by AI, because there's semicolons and weird grammar things in there that we don't use. And also I can read Australian content and it's American English and it looks bad. Because they're not telling the prompt to do it properly. So I know that's not the question you asked, but just talking about a lot of spat out content, I wouldn't use that. I don't use that in my agency. How I've used it is to scale. So I've been able to get ahead quicker in my content by taking my existing content or a blog and asking it to generate 5 different content ideas based on a blog. Or if a new client comes in, going through some information on their website when they're new and generating and really telling the AI, this is the customer, this is their values, this is their mission statement, these are some core practices, these are some core words that they use. Here is a lot of information about them based on this. Give me 20 topic ideas. Then I go into Google Trends and then I start to look at trending things in Google, but then I take that back to ChatGPT. Based on what's trending in Google, can you now generate some topic ideas? So I'm not using it to just spit out content to make my job easier. I'm using it to make my work of a higher standard so I can scale to a higher level. That's how I've used it. And I know a lot of people, it's kind of ruined things on social media a bit because people have used it in the wrong way. You know how views have really dropped? They drop every now and then. It's because supply and demand, because access to content is so easy now in pictures, in be able to make AI generated reels and content, that there is so much content out there that your views are low because the algorithm is just spitting it out. Oh my God, I'm so scared my power's going to go out because it's so noisy. Is it storming where you are?
Yeah, it's raining quite heavily here. Yeah, 100%.
It's very hot, but yeah. And that is why everyone's views going down. And that's why I'm saying, yes, jump on the AI bandwagon, but be smarter than everyone else. Still get, that's what Lucia is saying. Yeah, hers has dropped as well. It's because supply and demand. So going back to your question, I've used in my agency to get better.
Wow.
It's
I love that. It's like, yeah.
Because I can charge more than I can say, yeah, you can go pay me. Yeah, I'll get your content out there. But do you want it to grow your business, or do you just want to pay someone to post for you? That's a difference.
Yeah, true.
Go through your
Quality over quantity, right?
Exactly. Go through your money down the drain. Yeah. You know, unfortunately, yeah, you do need to put more content out there. Of course you do. But at what cost? Or do you want the content to be seen? You know, do you want your content to be seen, or do you just want to produce mass content? So there's a difference there. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's how I've used it to grow. And getting back to that topic about personalization, talk to your audience. Use AI to really understand the soul. I wrote some content for a New Zealand customer that I was working on a 3-month project with, and she said, I can't believe this. She goes, this is like I just wrote it. But it's, oh my gosh, so noisy. It is because I wrote it, I asked the AI as if it was her. I said, this is what she is, this is who her customers are, this is the kind of language she uses, emulate it. And if it doesn't work, then you go back and say, please change it. Look, ask it. I ask it to use British English. And sometimes it doesn't. I say, please go back again. Also ask it, how many words do you want it to write? You know, sometimes I say, no, it needs to be around 300 words. You know, you've really got to ask it. So that's how I've used it. I've used it to get better, not to get lazier. I want to be able to charge more money for a better service.
Yeah. And they're going to get, and whoever's working with you is going to get a lot of value from that, because they're going to get that same value and then share that with their customers too. So
correct.
A win-win. Yeah.
Exactly.
One thing to touch on about AI generated like content, it has a specific digital footprint that's different to what you put out there as well. So that's the thing that, like what you said, supply and demand. So if the algorithm senses right that digital footprint is AI, it won't get pushed out. But if the senses like, oh, this is a real human that's done that, it's going to push it out to more people.
Neil Patel, there's something called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's how Google rates it. It's an acronym, Neil Patel. So if you don't follow Neil Patel, he's an American guy for our audience, and he's really great. He basically does what I do with social media, but he does it for websites. So it's organic marketing. And exactly what Kanji's saying, and it's what Google looks for. And if your content is not humanized, it's then the cream will come to the top. And it's exactly what I do in my agency. Go and push out all your AI content. That's fine. That's why I will not mass produce AI copy for social media. I'll use it to generate my topic ideas based on Google Trends, and then I'll get the topic ideas and then I'll write it. Because then that's exactly what will happen for that exact reason. Julie. Oh, hey, Julie. She's saying she needs so much help with this. That's why Kanji and I are here to give you these tips. So
we got you. We got you, Julie. Awesome.
What's our next topic?
Yep. Next topic is the TV post for Instagram. So you can explain this one for all of us.
Yes. I just heard this yesterday, so I didn't have time to put this in our notes, Kanji. So there's something crazy going on Instagram, and Instagram is my least favorite channel. Sorry, Meta, close your ears, but I don't like you, Instagram, because I've never been able to crack it. It doesn't matter what I do. I can grow on every other channel, but I've never been able to crack Instagram. For clients, I can, but my Instagram, it hates me. So, Kanji, you go back and have a look, and you've probably noticed this already. So there's this thing, and apparently everyone's accounts are blowing up. So what they're doing now that's different is you get your video content, and you chop it into squares. So rather than real size, right, chop it into the normal square size. So you can do this in Canva for free, or just because if you upload a video onto Instagram, I think it'll automatically put it into a reel. So they're uploading it in square size, but what they're doing is taking a screenshot of the video. So take a screenshot of the video, and then they're doing it like one guy's calling it a TV post. So I thought, okay, I'll just call it a TV post because I don't think anyone's giving it a correct term yet. And they're using that for the thumbnail, and they're putting like captions like it's a TV thumbnail, breaking news, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And they're putting that as the thumbnail. Because I noticed the other day on someone's post, I think it might have been Rachel Peterson or someone, she's a big social media marketer that I follow. So the first image is an image, and then if you scroll on it, the next one is a video. And I'm like, this is brilliant. So it's a mixture of an image post and a video, a short video. And apparently it's working brilliantly. As we all know, the Instagram algorithm is very touchy, very princessy. And apparently this is working really well. I haven't yet to do it because I always leave Instagram to last, but apparently this is working really, really well, and it's set to be really big in 2024, particularly right now. But Instagram can change its mind in a heartbeat, so tomorrow could be all over. Lachia's saying yes, she lost her IG account over the break. 1,800 followers, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
To hear that. Melissa Neville saying she's loving this feed, this live. I'm so glad to hear. Melissa's a business owner in Canberra. So wonderful, Melissa. I'm glad this is giving you value. Thank you so much. Wonderful. What's our next one, Kanji Lo?
Yes. Influencer marketing.
Yeah. So to hear about this one.
Yeah. What yeah, I've seen especially in the so this year, right? You know, looking at zodiacs and, you know, Asian zodiacs and stuff like that. It's called the Year of the Dragon. But at the same time, Bitcoin's got a halving. So in regards to crypto and Web3, the trend is going up. So what
Really?
I'm seeing in the influencer space, especially in Web3, especially in blockchain, especially in crypto, is that a lot of the influencers are coming back on the scene, right? Same thing with the influencer market, the influencers that are in day to day, like people doing products, selling things on having their own products sold on, different brands and things like that, or even cross promoting with other people's brands, pages that cross promote as well. What I'm
Yeah.
seeing is a lot of collaboration,
Yeah.
and it's
Which
coming
comes
back now. Doesn't have that stigma. Yeah.
That's interesting to know because I'm not in the Bitcoin or crypto space. So it's actually interesting to hear that it is, because now when I was reading about that in the social media space, it's interesting to hear that it's also happening in that space as well. Lucia is saying she's also really she's finding our live really interesting. So thank you, Lucia, as well.
Thank you.
That's so. For those who don't know, in the influencer marketing space, there's big influencers. There's also macro and micro influencers. So that's on the smaller scale too, which works really well. And that's where influencers take a small payment or payment in product as well. And that's also predicted to take off as well. So if you're a smaller business or you're a local business, keep this in mind as part of your strategy, because you can swap product, or you can swap a small payment or as I said, product. So in return, and this is quite a valuable resource for your business, and really great if you don't have a lot of cash flow in your business. And then of course it goes up to the big influencers as well. So don't disregard macro and micro influencers where you can swap an item of clothing, a hair service, an oil, or whatever you're selling, or part of your product in return for content, which or a testimonial, whatever it is, or user generated content, which goes into our next point there, Kanji, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. And yeah,
No,
I was gonna touch on the influencer marketing space. So
sure.
yeah, so both because they both tie in together, and this is the most beautiful thing about these two aspects, right? So you've got the content creator, right? That obviously wants to partner up with brands so that it can help it get monetization and being able to serve their clients, etc. And you've got the businesses that need content creators so that they can push out their brands to their audience and to other audiences as well. So with both of it, you need to, as a business owner, you need to find an influencer who actually resonates with the same values and brand that you have. Because let's say if I'm I sell monitors, for example, but I'm getting someone who's into fashion or beauty, it doesn't align, and it's not going to be. It's not gonna help my brand. It's not gonna help their brand as well. They might be able to leverage that if we're able to creatively create something with that. But at the same time, it's like you need to find someone with the same values and with the same niche as well, right? So when it comes to user generated content, one thing I love about leaving it to the users is that GoPro does this really well. So if you look at GoPro's Instagram page, right? If you look at any video that they have, they don't do their videos. They get their creators to do their videos, and they fund them. Yeah, they fund them different funds, different incentives, different funding is such a good thing for content creators. They give the content creators the power to share what they want to share with the product. And as a brand, that's really good for you because you don't have to spend that much on marketing, but you've also got marketing, but you're
GoPro.
Just connecting, just connecting with other individuals that promote your brand for you. And who's the best, source, other people's marketing is the best kind of marketing, right?
Word of mouth. That's a really, really important point, Kanji. And I'll go check out their account with that. And as you said, you've got to align with it. And one, particularly if you are using someone with user-generated content or influencer marketing, because the whole idea is that you tap into their market. And if their market isn't yours, it is wasted. Lucia is saying, brilliant idea, testimonials, right. Yeah, she's saying, do it the right way. Absolutely. The one thing is, so one of the accounts that I work with, we get a lot of people reaching out saying, hey, can I, come on board as a collaborator, as an influencer. And the first thing we always ask for is to send through a media kit. So that's where the collaborator or the influencer sends through what's called a media kit. And it doesn't have to be fancy. We're not looking to see that it's the most prettiest Canva design or anything like that. We're looking to see that what we're looking at is their demographic. Because if their demographic is not in the area that client sells to, it doesn't make a difference. The other thing is engagement. Followers do not mean anything when it comes to influencers. You always want to look at engagement. And hang on, my dog wants to come in, of course. He always wants to join the lives. Pablo Escobar. It's engagement because you can have someone that's got 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers and they're like, look, I've got these followers. You want to come on? Look at their engagement. It's got to benefit you. So if you are a smaller business or a business that perhaps doesn't have the money to pay a bigger influencer and you do want to use some of these smaller ones and they're saying, hey, but I've got, 10,000 followers, look at their engagement. Because ask to see their stats, ask them to send you a report on their engagement. That's great if they've got 20,000. Now he wants to go out because I think someone opened a packet of chips and he heard it. So let's let the dog out again. So if no one is seeing their account, it doesn't matter that they've got 20,000 people. So it's got to be reciprocal. As you grow with your social media, and Kanji, you will get this too, and I get it as well. People want to do reciprocal things and collab. You've got to get to a point where you have to say no, because you're wasting your time otherwise. It's got to be reciprocal and it's got to be worth doing. But yeah, user-generated content is the best way. But yeah, just make sure that it's aligned. Really good point, Kanji. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Next one.
Next one is video marketing. This one is you're the master at this.
Yeah, video marketing. So this has been happening for a little while, but I think they're really going to push it a bit further. So again, this has really come from TikTok. TikTok sort of set the standard there for where video marketing almost doesn't even look like they've made an effort to market the video. So I saw this the other day on, do you know the guy from, is it Listing New York's or New York, Ryan?
Ryan Serhant, yes.
Oh yeah, my God.
Serhant.
I am not even into real estate, but I follow him because his marketing is so brilliant. Have you seen it, Kanji, what he does?
Yep.
So he's literally walking down.
I love his, walking down the street. Yes.
Doesn't he? So this kind of video marketing is really, really on point now. And it's a kind of marketing. So I've got one client and we run ads and I'm like, listen, we're really not getting the results that we need. I said, because it looks too scripted. They're in a studio and they're filming this and they're filming. I'm like, you've got to get one of the teachers out, because it's an educational product, out just walking with this and walking with that. And they're like, oh, I don't think they'll do that. And I'm like, that's why it's not, the product's still very, very successful. But I said, you are going to get more results. I'm like, look at this guy from Listings New York. He's literally just walking around, doing this. So I think video marketing, it's also got to be, 10 seconds. It's got to look like it wasn't filmed in, I'm not saying you can't, sometimes film in a studio, but some of the biggest ads don't even look like they've been edited. Laura's on. Thank you. Laura is a client of mine. If you need a mortgage or a loan, you need to go check her out. She's a mortgage broker, great content. I'm on LinkedIn. She's laughing. She went for the packet of chips. She's watching from LinkedIn. Awesome. Laura's going to be doing some lives soon, so you need to go check her out. Thank you for joining, Laura. So I think video marketing from that point of view, really think about it and don't make them too long. You also need to consider how your audience consumes content. They are not sitting down to see an ad, and they also don't go to social media to buy. They will buy, but they don't go there to buy. So you need to think about how you're going to grab their attention in that video ad. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah. What was it? The stat is like 8 seconds is the average attention of a human. It's probably like 2 to 3 seconds with all the short form content on like TikTok. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like capturing someone's attention in 3 seconds. And at the same time, people love it when you're on the go. So like if you're posting a reel or you're doing some sort of marketing, it's just being on the go.
Different
As a human, yeah, different backgrounds. As a
yeah.
human, I'm curious to know what that person's doing, right?
Yeah.
And I want to know. Hence why like sitcoms, dramas, they do really well, right? On reality TV shows, because people want to know what other people are doing. So can
Yeah.
you bring that kind of element into your own marketing? And that's something that I love playing around with with what
100%.
I do. Yeah, and I see
Yeah.
that with you as well, Lisa. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm loving your marketing recently too. Because I'm always the same thing. I'm like, what's he doing now? Where is he?
Exactly. Where is he? What's he doing? What's she doing?
And you almost, with your marketing too, which what you're doing differently, you don't finish it off. And that's what I like. You're doing the how, when, what. Sorry, not the how, what, when, where, but not the how. And that's what I always say. Don't give them the full how, because they've got to book that time or they've got to click that button to know the how. You want to give them enough, but the how is you book a call with me, or you make an appointment, or you send me an email, or you DM me for the how. That's, you got to pay for the how. And that's,
100%.
I'm loving what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go over and check it out.
Everyone's gonna be like, go check it out. Yeah.
Go check it out.
Next one is voice search optimization. So the latest
I don't
figures
know
is that
about this. Do you?
yeah. So this one's quite interesting, right? So based on this, there's about like 200 million users that are using voice assistants. I know personally what I do as well is I would send voice messages to people, but you can also send voice messages to text, which is something that can give you a lot of time off on what you want to write and things like that. So like if let's say you've got like, I don't know, if you're admin, obviously the first thing you can think of is like you voice message to your phone and then it just gives you a summary, like a memo. You jump onto a Zoom meet, Zoom meeting. You have things like Notes AI, or different note taking AI software that help you summarize whatever's in that meeting. Or even if you want to as well, like someone's done a really cool, awesome topic on 9 things to increase your income in 2024, for example. You can grab that video and then you can copy and paste that from there, and then that can create a voice. Yeah. Or you can like grab all these other search engines as well.
You're creating a voice from the notes.
Yeah, you can create voice from the notes.
Stop it.
Yeah. So you can grab voice. There's so many tools out there. Yeah.
Stop it. So, okay, because this is a topic I didn't know too much about, because I have transcribed, say this video, right? We could transcribe this to text and make a blog from it, fix it up, and then put it into, say, ChatGPT and say, okay, take this transcribed notes and put it into there. And then you could make a faceless YouTube video again and voice optimize this, couldn't we?
Yes. And there's other software as well that does that, and you can grab text and then you can create different voices for those reels. So like for example, a software you can use. Sorry. Yeah. So some apps. There's one called 11 Labs. 11 Labs. Yeah.
Like
so 11 Labs in words. Yeah. Number 11, but in words, labs. Yeah. So that one allows you to grab text that you want to type into it, what you want to say to it, and then it'll come up with a voice that will say exactly what you want to say in that voice.
Okay. Are you for real?
I'm for real. Really? Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So is this how people are doing, like, say, these faceless, because this is another thing, like faceless YouTube videos, faceless reels. Yep. Is this a free app, or there's a paid version, or?
No, it's a paid version. It's paid version. Most of these apps are all paid. That you can go and do a trial for like 14 days. But for this one especially, it'll be
like what, $15 a month or $20 or?
Yeah, it's about $20-$30 a month. 11 Labs is actually quite cheap. So I'm not using it extensively. I'm just playing around with it, just playing around with certain tools. Yeah.
I'm not saying I've got ADHD, but I call myself ADHD because you know what I'm like, Kanji, because I'm like, get me onto this. I'm sitting there because that's one of the other things is like to have like, because obviously I've monetized my YouTube channel, but I'm like, okay, the next thing is to have that next income stream is I want to do like a faceless YouTube channel next, just because I'm not busy enough. And 11 labs. There you go. I could use that.
Yep.
I just want to do like a dog channel or something because because I'm like, okay, that's next. It's like, yeah. I've got a million things I want to do, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I just use 11 labs.
Yeah. Why not though? Why not?
Labs, Labradors, it's all coming to me now. Lucia, doesn't TikTok turn your text? Yeah, TikTok does. Yeah, TikTok's done that for a little while, Lucia, and Facebook has that feature as well, where it turns your text to voices. And I have heard that it gets a lot more views when you actually turn your voice to text, your text to voice. I've actually heard it pushes your content out, although you kind of can't do everything. I've always say, like, you've got to pick your battles sometimes. This will push your content out. This will push your content out. So play around with it. I have also used the text to voice on Facebook, and I had music in the background. And then when I uploaded it, the text to voice didn't come out. So I don't know. It was weird. But, yeah, it does have that. Sounds robotic. It is very robotic, yeah. And then it brings us back to the uncanny valley.
Yep.
Which you've all learned about today. Wonderful. What was the next one, Kanji?
Social comment.
Sorry. Laura's saying VEED does captions and it's so good.
Yes.
It does that as
well.
Yep. Laura.
Veed's good. Yep. Veed's really good. Good mention.
Thank you, Laura.
Yes. Social commerce.
Okay, so this goes back to what Holly Ann was saying before about and think old school selling channels. So I heard this about a year and a half ago that eventually social media will be like the old school shopping channels where we used to turn on the TV, and I used to be a flight attendant, and so I would have time off during the week when everyone else was at their 9-to-5 jobs. And I really got sucked into buying things online because we didn't have, so much on the internet and mobile phones like that then. So I've got these stupid plastic juices all over my house at Bert Newton will sell, and because I would buy things on TV from shopping channels. And now that's really what social media is going to be like, because so social commerce will be like TikTok has got TikTok Shop, as Holly Ann was talking at the start of this live. Social media is going to want to house everything in. So Facebook shops, if you've been having trouble with IG shops and Facebook shops lately, it's because they're moving towards having it just housed in. And I believe they're going to be aligning with Shopify on Meta. That's what I've heard, and I've heard that from a few different sources. TikTok has its own shop. It's not that you can't link your store to your bio on TikTok, but they do favor their own commerce. So eventually social media will be, it's like having a Netflix, but that's what social media will be eventually. It'll be you go into social media and you don't, like into, say, Snapchat, and you don't leave that platform. It's just like going into Stan or Netflix or whatever it is. You go into it and they do not want to get you off that platform because they make money when you're on that platform because of advertising. That's why. So why not have everything in there? It's like what Mark Zuckerberg wanted to do with the metaverse, and what he is doing with metaverse. You just stay in there. Once you're in, you cannot leave. Maybe the Eagles, Hotel California, maybe that's what they were getting at. Once you're in, you can never leave. Maybe there was a message in that, once you're in there, you can never leave. That's what these social media platforms will do. And that's where social commerce is going. Spend your money in there and you don't leave. They don't want you. They've never wanted you to get off their platform. So that's why links haven't always, you can use them. I use them, but they haven't always been favored because they do not want you to leave the platform. They want your audience to be on the platform. And social commerce is another way to control that.
Mm-hmm. It's all about attention, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yep. The next one is about privacy and data protection. I think you want to mention something about this one. Yeah. Yeah.
So the verification, Kanji, I'll see what you think of this. So what I've heard, and I agree with this. So there's a girl she goes by the name Coco, I think Moko. Have you heard of her? Coco Moko, Coco Loco. I'm not too sure. She's quite a young girl, and she makes money from predicting, and she's very accurate predicting social media trends. So the big companies pay her, and they said, this is where I see it going. And she's really good. And one of the things which makes sense is she said, pretty soon, I think eventually everyone will have to be verified on social media, which makes sense. Everyone will need verification on social media. So this goes in with privacy and safety. So pretty much if you're on social media, you will need to pay to be verified, but it will be safe and secure. It'll stop money laundering. It'll stop, obviously, I won't say it because obviously I'll be uploading this on YouTube and that sort of thing, but, you know, like underage like offenses and things like that. I won't say the actual word because we'll get flagged, which is stupid because then our video will get taken down. But those kind of offenses, trafficking and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But I think with the privacy and, you know, the companies will be made to be, you know, you can see everything that happens with TikTok and they, you know, getting dragged through court. Something has to be done when you can have an ad, and particularly with AI the way that it is now, anyone's, you know, avatar can be replicated and, you know, words can be said. And when you don't get pulled down for an ad, that's a, you know, I've seen Jennifer Lopez saying, oh, this cream's amazing. It's not her. And a company can go put that out, yet we get community violations. When I had a pink top on once, and because my skin's pale, I got my account banned because it said I was nude. And I'm like, I'm just wearing a pink top. So, because you've got to remember, guys, that with security and privacy, it's bots. There are robots out there making these decisions. It's not until it gets to a review stage, that's when a human then goes through and makes that final decision. It is a bot that is first banning your account. So the verification, I believe, and I do believe that this girl is right, will eventually happen. And I think that 2024 will see a lot more come in. What do you think, Kanji, with you, like particularly with AI and everything?
Yeah, I feel as though digital identity and data protection is really key for content creators and businesses, because like you said, it's just like if I have a business, someone could take my whole identity and replicate that, and then everything will be taken, right? And then I'll be seen in a different light, and you know that's not a great look, especially for my brand or for my business. So digital identity is actually a $33 billion industry, right? And the thing about digital identity is that when you're handling your information, right, as a let's say for example, Facebook has all this as data breaches before and stuff like that. We won't go into that because that's another rabbit hole. But it's like you want to be very careful on how you handle the data and how you handle information. So hence why when you're on these platforms, to get yourself verified, to get yourself, you know, ID'd as well, to the point that you're leveraging the platform. There's no point you jumping on a platform and you're not leveraging that platform, and you're, you know, being, you know, putting in your details and things like that, because you're going to see, oh, what are they going to do with my data? How are they going to, you know, use it, and what they're going to use it for? So you, like, for example, if I'm all of a sudden interested in buying, I don't know, if I'm all of a sudden interested in buying, you know, like an iPhone, for example, I'm going to start getting ads from Facebook, from Meta, from any other platform saying, oh, buy this iPhone. Or, you know, if I'm interested in self-development books, oh, buy this book. So it's going to start grabbing what I know and my lookalike preferences and interests, and start grabbing all of that. So that's the issue with digital identity. If a centralized organization like all these big tech companies, or you know, if you look at all these different organizations, grab all your data, what can you do with that? They can take your Instagram or Facebook page away, right? Because now they've essentially owned you. But what if that organization was decentralized? What if there were technologies in place where your brand or your identity is pegged to, let's say, a blockchain, or pegged to a technology where this is yours and yours only, right? That's a different conversation. But at the same time, I feel like it's important. But again, who's using that, right? Where is that going? So I feel like it's really important for everyone to look after themselves and their privacy, their data, etc. But just question. Don't don't look into it, but like just question, like, what is it, like, where is my data being held? What is it actually doing? Where is it going?
100%. And look, I admit when I first started on social media, like it didn't worry me that much. And then as the years went on and I meet certain people and I see things that happen to people, I went, wow, this is really serious. I don't know if she's still on, but Holly Ann at the start, the one that mentioned about the TikTok shop. So she owns a business over in WA, Safe for Kids. She does this for a living. So she has products and she works with the education department writing programs to protect kids online. And she's seen some pretty terrible things because they get reported to her and she tries to, then obviously, she writes programs on this and she's got actual products from board games and things to help parents. Oh, she's here. Oh, she's here. She's here. So please click on her name, have a look at her products. So she does everything from educational products all the way up to the in-between to educating both the teachers but also the kids, all the way up to the big education departments for the state. So she goes into both rural communities, and so she does everything in between. So some of the things that, and we've become friends, some of the things that she's told me in, which I won't mention here, that she's told me in, as a friend, that I've been aware of, that even just as a parent, like when you're talking online, that just makes me think how your data is used. Completely had no idea. And as someone who's really tech savvy, well, social media savvy and not necessarily tech savvy, I could not believe that that's how it's used. And so go and check her out, especially if you've got kids. But even if you don't have kids or someone does, just have a look at what she does, because I didn't even think that someone would even use data that way. So it's also great if, someone's in the education space to start thinking about it. Now, the other thing is my sister owns a business. 2 years ago, she had a personal account taken over. It was linked to her business account. Recently, again, she came under fire. Couldn't do a thing with Facebook, didn't matter. But because that Facebook account had the same email address to her business work email, she's had 2 hacks since to a work business email. The recent one was really serious. They rerouted the business email, took over 10,000 customers or whatever it was, and then that was linked to accounting software. So this is where you think just a Facebook profile, nothing to do with her business. Then what happened is they started selling fake Taylor Swift tickets. But then people would look at this old profile, which she hasn't used for 2 years, and could see her business. They could also, unfortunately, they'd had photos of her kids in there in their school uniform. And it was, her kids are, 18 and 16 now. So it was 2 years ago. And because the school is quite a well-known private school in Melbourne, they're like, we know what school your kids go to. So recently, she's like, I can't believe I shouldn't have put my kids on there. This is not a video about putting your kids online, but, it goes back to, things that Holly, like, where is your information going, right? She got abuse. Very scary, Laura. Very, very scary. I was trying to help her. Then she started getting Google reviews about threatening to call the police. We know where your kids go to school. Her kids are autistic as well. They're very high functioning, but then they're thinking, well, do I have to worry at school? All this from one Facebook profile. Oh, these people are scammers. They're scamming us. Then they found a group, because the type of industry my sister's business is in, there's a Facebook group for her industry. And it's a big business that she's got. Then they went into the Facebook group for the registration for the governing body and started posting in there. So this is where you've got to be very careful, be very, very careful about where your information's going. She went to the police. She had to get the cyber police involved. And even the cyber police said, we can't do anything. They're like, can you at least go to Facebook? No. They said, they're threatening my kids now. And they said, well, they're not really. They're just saying, we know where your kids go to school. She's like, isn't that a threat? out of all of this, she's like, if they damage my business, the only people I care about is kids. And it's a big lesson. Think about where your information goes. All of your information. And so I think the verification, if it comes in, and look, my sister's a beautiful parent. So I'm not saying, you know, like one photo or whatever, like she thought maybe, you know, at 16 and 14, they would have been at the time, she would have been safe, came back. Hina, hey Hina, how are you? How are you? Thank you for joining, Hina. So I think that's where it's all going. So I think that's the last of our topics there. Now this information was sourced from, as I said, we got a little bit from Coco Loco Moco, I'm not sure of her name, Social Media Examiner, Social Media Today, and from Forbes as well. And of course from Kanji's experience in the AI world, and of course from my experience as well. Kanji, is there anything you wanted your followers or anyone watching to know before we wrap this up?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, you know, jumping on this live with you, Melissa. And yeah, for the guys and girls that are listening, so what I'm doing is we're creating a new media platform, right? And with media platforms that are existing right now, you don't have true freedom of speech, and there's no such thing as true monetization, right? Monetization in the sense that you have to go through certain hurdles before you get monetized as a content creator, right? And as a content creator, it kind of feels discouraging when you don't get that, you know, the ability to earn and see the things that you do on a daily basis, putting content out there, sharing your message, sharing your story, sharing your brand, sharing you. And what we're doing is we're creating a creator network where we're working with certain content creators that we feel deserve to share with their audience. Because at the end of the day, if you jump as a content creator, you obviously can earn through blockchain, through tokenization, through true monetization, but your audience can earn as well, right? And that's the thing that we're really doing at Presence, is that we're creating a system where you get monetized for your attention. You get rewarded for your attention, just jumping on the platform, scrolling, interacting with your favorite content creators. So as a content creator, if you are a content creator, and obviously you can contact me directly, we'll reach out to you, we'll have a chat, we'll see how we can value you and you can value us and be part of the ecosystem. And for businesses as well, we've got a marketplace. And in this marketplace, what we're doing is we're rewarding the users and content creators. If you're using the platform, watching certain videos that help you grow in self-development, personal development, wealth, health, all aspects to do with the human being, is that we will reward you with and partner up with the businesses. If you have a business yourself, and we'll give and reward the users through, I don't know, it's a hotel, you know, discounts, whether it's through shopping discounts, whether it's through tokens, gifts, being in the draw with stuff. But we're looking for businesses and content creators to partner up with so that we can help you become the content creator that you've always wanted to be, and also promote your business to a worldwide network where, you know, there's a lot of people that are growing in the space and want to, you know, give back to humanity as well. And that's our contribution to society. So that's what I have for the viewers. Again, thank you again, Melissa.
You're welcome. Make sure you get in touch with Kanji. If you're connected to me, you can reach out to me and I can put you in touch with Kanji on that. But yeah, do get in touch with him, because it's you know, I've known Kanji for a while now, so it's a pretty exciting thing that he's doing. So do get in touch with him. And as I said, if you can't find him for whatever reason, or you know, sometimes if you're not connected with someone on social media, it goes to the spam inbox, or check on the live. But because we're multi-streaming this, Kanji might miss the message. So do just let me know as well, and I can then put you into a group chat with Kanji too. So you are welcome. And Kanji, what I was thinking too is I've got these notes which I'll tidy up, because obviously the notes that I sent you aren't finished, Kanji. And I just thought if I've got a PDF, we can send it to anyone that wants a little rundown of these notes. They won't be as detailed as what we've spoken about, but they'll be there. I'll put your email address, my email address, and our socials on there as well. If anyone wants a copy of that too, they can have it. So yeah, that'd be wonderful, Kanji. And then, yeah, I'll put it into the group too. But do reach out to me if you want those details of Kanji. Make sure you do, because it's going to be bloody epic.
Yep.
Holly Ann just checked out. Yeah, Melissa saying yes. She wants a copy of that. She wants to chat to you. Holly Ann checked it out. Yeah, Coco Moco. Thank you. It's Coco Moco. Go.
All right, we got it.
really, really good. I know she's pretty big on TikTok. Thanks for checking her out, Holly Ann. Lucia is saying thank you, Kanji and Melissa. We'll get those notes, and I'll put Kanji's details on there too. I'll upload the notes into my group as well as a PDF, and then I'll give you a copy if you want to send it out to anyone. I'll put it onto LinkedIn as well, and we'll get it onto Facebook. So if anyone wants those, let me know, but we'll make sure we get those out there. So thank you so much. I'm glad the power didn't cut out here. We'll do this again, Kanji, in another month or so.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the info. Laura's saying very useful and interesting. Make sure you do go follow all the other people that have commented here, because they've all got amazing businesses too. Laura and Lucia, Melissa, Holly Ann, Hina, and everyone else as well. They're all saying thank you. So do go follow their businesses too and show everyone else support. Now, if you are watching from some other channels and we have missed your content, it's only because we're streaming through StreamYard. So we do say sorry, because you could be watching the replay as well. So we will get back to your comments. So thank you from Kanji and I. And we'll see you soon, won't we, Kanji?
Yep, 100%. 2024 is going to be a massive year. Let's go.
It is, and I can't wait to see your content thing. From my end, I've got some other projects happening too. I'm going to be doing some workshops in 2024 with my strategy. So on, being able to teach you how to do a whole year's worth of content. That is going to be happening towards the second part of the year. I've been talking about it for a while, but it is definitely happening. There's just so much other things happening that it's my digital store's gone a little bit crazy at the moment, which has taken a bit of my attention. So lots more happening. I do have a 2024 content calendar for people who are managing their own social media. It's on sale at the moment. You can find it in my digital store. Oh, gosh, I think I had it for 70% off, and it was like $5, and you can purchase that. It's got a content idea for every single day of the year. I think it's $14 regularly, and it's got some viral hooks in there and some call to actions as well. But I'm about to, I think it's just stopped being on sale, but I'm about to put it back on sale. So just wait for that. You can check out the link in my bio or just message me about that. I'll get the notes out. Thank you, Holly, as well. She's saying brilliant. Thanks, guys, too. And I'll get those notes sorted in the next day or so and get them out to Kanji in the Facebook group and to everywhere else. And you can take those 2024 predictions that we spoke about. I'll put Coco Moco and everyone else down on there too, Kanji. So, all right, guys, we'll check in with you later. See you guys then. Bye.
Yep.
See you, Kanji.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right.